At any given time? Is that too?
Maybe if like if you're in the middle of a puzzle, but you can exit the puzzle, take something out that you might.
Okay, I like that.
It could be if we were thinking like if you can save like we want to save by each puzzle. So if you fail the puzzle, you restart it. So if there's one of those things by each puzzle, you'd be able to access it for the puzzles. But then if you just start going around and you want to build a glider modification, if you don't have the parts with you, you've got to go find one. And then you can.
So you're thinking only access through the saved nodes,
or like if you're near it or something, like you still do it through your watch, but if you're too far away.
See, I kind of like that. I like that idea too, just because it gives it a lot more. I don't want to say challenge because that's probably not the right word, because you can just walk over to some spot and pick up some stuff, but it definitely makes you have to think ahead a little bit better.
Maybe there could be a puzzle where you have to go far. It's like a big area, and it takes you outside of that portal zone. So you got to make sure you have the stuff that you
Yeah, or you could go to that spot and drop off some stuff, and then go back and get it, and then go back to that spot and drop off. Okay, so that's what we're gonna. I like that. So let's go with that for now then. Let's say that every save node will have a little proximity, and if you're within that proximity, then you can withdraw any items that you've stored in any of your saving locations anywhere across the whole map. Cool. Anything to add to that? I like that. I think it's solid. Okay, so let's kind of steer ourselves back to the narration aspect. So our ultimate goal is to get off the island, finding these pieces and get off the island, right? Or should it be finding something on the island ultimately and then getting off the island?
Yeah, maybe it's like, because you're on this adventure looking for this one artifact, and you discover, this is the island it's on.
Somehow throughout your trials and tribulations, you need to find the knowledge that the item you're looking for is on this island somewhere.
It's an extra thing you have to do.
Yeah, maybe that's like our boss battle, right? Our final boss battle is gathering this artifact in some way that we figure out. Some way that kind of forces you to use all the items that you've gathered so far in order to get, right? So you'll have to grab and hook up to it, maybe like glide over to something else, and maybe like levitate, walk, or however our boots are gonna work. Something like that.
Or do you want to like unlock a whole new section? Like the whole second's part 2 of the game or something. Be like, oh, now we know that we have to get the artifact as well.
If you do that, maybe you get the artifact, and then upon grabbing it, it transforms you into a new dimension, and then you have to, like, you're still on this map, but it's like...
Everything's upside down.
Yeah, everything's upside down, or everything's turned dark, or it's not just like some different type of world where it's like, and then from there you need to find your way off that island.
And that's when the zombies come.
And that's when the zombies come. Steampunk zombies. We do something like that. I mean, what do you guys think? What do you guys think for the narration? I really want to get sort of an end game in sight for us to kind of work towards, you know? I mean, so far we just have you get to the island, you lose all your items, you gather your items, and you get off the island. Which is fine, but we can add to it.
Yeah.
We can make that cooler.
I think like the character, of course, you might know, but the character's like, oh, I know I'm on an island, but I don't know if this is where the artifact is.
Sure, yeah, I mean, they might have this feeling that maybe it's a whole other island that I have to go ultimately to get it. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, sometimes you're like trying to get off the island, you just randomly find the artifact, or randomly find out that you should search for that artifact.
But wow, what do you mean by random?
Maybe,
I mean, like, at some point, you know.
maybe you can find like.
It could be like, what about if there's like even back in the tutorial you saw like a marking that you would recognize for finding the artifact, and like right as you're about to get off the island you see it, and so you stop and then you go find it and then you can leave.
What if you find like some clue that the artifact's on the island, on the small island? Like a piece of it.
Well, that could be it, and that could give you more incentive to get to the big island.
Yeah.
Maybe you find like the local people worship this artifact, and you find like paintings of it or something.
Sure. Yeah, that could work. I like the idea of finding a piece also, and then you find fragments of this artifact, and then you put them together. Just to add a little more puzzle and crafting to it, but
Yep.
you could do something like that. Okay, so we're gonna find out. Okay, so we're gonna find out on our little starting island that on the big island there's gonna be the artifact that we're ultimately looking for exists there. So let's just throw it out there that we just find it somehow. Somehow we know. Somehow. We don't know how yet, but somehow we know that we'll find something indicated there. So you cross the island, and then you collect all your gear, and then you get to that, and you finally find that artifact, then what happens?
Then the artifact grants you the power of flight, and you can just
Float off.
That'd be pretty cool. Maybe not.
I like what you said, where it adds like a degree of difficulty. It's like, okay, now you have to get off, but there's this because of the thing you found.
Okay, so do you think that then you finally assemble the artifact here as a whole, and then like the world goes dark, or
Well, one thing you can do, like narration-wise, is you find the artifact like in a cave, and then when you come out, it's nighttime. So,
Oh, that'd be cool.
yeah.
Like, so the player's like, oh, I win. Or yeah, some kind of like catacombs or something, right? So where you can't see any light is kind of what you're saying, right? And then where you come out to.
Well, like
and
you
it's all-
like go into a cave, and when you come out, everything's different.
I think that'd be cool.
I like that idea.
That'd be really cool. I think that our whole game should have this very like fun, light, like super kind of cartoony feel to it until you get that artifact. Then you come out and like everything's dark and it's like,
Scary.
oh,
Yeah.
oh shit, right? Like it just went down.
So it's like
the
a
whole,
kid's
the
game
whole
or
art
something.
style changes, and it's like a horror game now.
All of a sudden, it's not cartoony at all. You just have like very real world looking graphics.
And what if the people, if like I said, they worship it, what if they want it back and they're trying to get it from you?
Oh, that'd be cool.
Okay, you have to escape them in this new world.
Yeah, that'd be cool. We actually probably very easily do that. To where we have, especially maybe, okay, so maybe you get all of your items, and then you find out the artifact you're looking for is buried in the catacombs of some tribe's burial ground, whatever, something like that, right? So you go to these tribes, and they're like, and they don't really understand you. You don't really understand them, but there's no hostility towards anyone.
But they don't let you in the place.
They don't let you in the place. You got to sneak your way into the
Your
place.
items.
Exactly. So you sneak your way into the catacombs. You go down a couple levels. You know, you're way underground. You get the artifact. You make your way back up. And maybe upon getting that artifact, it'll trigger some other events. So it's more difficult to make your way back through the catacombs.
Like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you make your way up, and then you come outside. Everything's dark, and like you're like, whoa, something changed. Like something way different is going on. And next thing you know, all the people in this tribe all kind of want to kill you, right? So you gotta. So that's kind of that'll be its own kind of puzzle in itself. Now you gotta find a way to break out of this. Little
Be
tribunal.
no
complex.
light other than the torches they're carrying, so you can't get too far away and you can't see. But if they catch you,
Or if you get a flashlight, you might if you have a flashlight on the way. So.
Or you just got your watch. You're just like, running around everywhere. All these tribe people are like, ooh. Well, if it's steampunk, I guess the tribes would have to be sort of technologically advanced too. I mean, we won't think of it as like really archaic tribesmen. We should think of it more as just a grouping of people who happen to be here. We
Well,
can't
like,
understand.
they're all robots.
One thing with been like being aggressive is like what percentage of the game is like before that, and what percentage is after that.
I don't know. It's a good
Once you get
question.
the artifact, you've completed 1% of the game.
Yeah, achievement 1% in progress. What? If you're asking me, I would say we'd make it somewhere like 75 to 25, where 75% of the game is collecting everything, you get the artifact, and that's 25% is sort of getting out from that point. But what do you guys want? I mean, this isn't my game, this is our game.
I was thinking kind of like almost maybe like a half and half kind of a thing.
Okay, we could totally do that.
Yeah.
Make that kind of halfway point.
Like you get all your items and you get used to them by solving the various puzzles to get the other items, you know, and then once you're able to get the artifact, that's when the game can kind of realize, okay, they've mastered all these different items. Now they've got to do harder stuff with them.
That'd be a good idea. We could
What
totally
if
do
like
that.
you get your items and then you find the artifact and then you find new items that like
all of your items break and you gotta get
Or you could do this sort of like our dark world, wherever we're gonna call it. From there you could find new, maybe this is kind of what you're talking about, Cody, is that you can find new pieces and then maybe upgrade our pre-existing equipment, right? Maybe our grappling hook now goes twice as far, or our shoes now have some new component to them. You can find new tinkerable stuff in this dark world that was inaccessible to you in our light world. And I'm just calling it dark and light worlds. We won't do that, but for now.
Do you want to use the artifact in some way, like interact with it, like upgrade it? Because like once you have it, you
That would be
might want to
kinda
be able
cool.
to do something with it.
Yeah, it might be kind of boring if you just find this piece and now you're just holding on to this thing just to have.
What if it's like a living artifact? Like you put it together and it's like your little robot companion guy
Yeah, then you can control it from your Gizmo watch.
or something.
I don't want to control it, but we could do something like that.
Well, how serious is the game?
It's not. It's like,
Like, what are like the artifacts, that little dog thing that you're talking about? Like, they worship a little robot dog, and then you get it and it follows you, something like that.
yeah, totally good. Why would it follow us though, opposed to anyone
I
else?
don't know,
We
why
put its
not?
batteries back in.
Well, what if the dog or whatever wants that artifact, but it can't get to it, and then it finds you, think, oh, maybe this person can help me. But it doesn't tell you for some reason. You know, it's
So this
like,
little dog is totally manipulating you.
Yeah.
Is this the dog, the little companion dog that we're gonna find that's gonna come up to us when we get washed ashore?
yeah,
Okay.
and that's why it wants
Yeah.
to get to the island. Yeah.
We'd have to find out a reason why the dog wants the artifact and why the dog knows about the artifact. But hey, steampunk.
Yeah.
We'd have to incorporate that in some way. But we definitely could make that. I mean, I am a fan of having a little companion. I think that would help us with a hint system. Primarily, it'd be a great way for people who are like, I have no idea what I'm doing, to kind of look down at a little dog and have them tell them where to go, sort of, more or less. Okay, so we could say that the dog. Okay, then so ultimately this dog wants this artifact for some reason. Well, ultimately you want the artifact for some reason, because that's the whole reason you're going on this adventure to begin with, is to find this ancient artifact of immeasurable power. So, but somewhere along the line, the dog wants it too, or the dog wants to assist you in it in some way, something like that.
Can you upgrade the dog with the artifact?
Well, maybe.
Maybe that's how you can use it.
Dog turns into a super dog.
Yeah.
And then your dog can fly, and you just grab onto your dog and it flies you home.
Well, we could do something sort of along the lines of where you get the artifact, and once you have this artifact, then you can manipulate technology, and then you can change your dog into being some form of different companion. Maybe something that can go underwater, so you can go maybe explore a cave, or something that can fly, so you can go to the mountaintop up there.
Like evolve it. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, what about like the artifact like makes everything technologically advanced? Like as soon as you assemble it, then all of a sudden the tribes are like have their own mechanisms and like the.
I mean, like
everything,
upon removing it from its place, then this world is now thrown into this
like
in
like
this
at first like
immense
you were
technology.
like this is the steampunk guy who showed up there, and then you pick up the artifact and now everything is like that.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool. That's like the new world. It's almost like
instead of a
civilization went forward in about like 1,000 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe not 1,000 years in that way, but
1,000 steampunk years.
yeah, totally. No, I like that. To where everything's feels really ancient and old and very, very tribal, you know, to where you got these people and they're all super primitive. And then you get there and you grab this artifact and then you're coming up out of the catacombs. And the next thing you know, instead of this primitive tribesman, it's this like robot now. This robot guy who's also still a tribesman. He has all the same resemblances of the tribesman before, but it's just completely different, right? He now has a laser scanner instead of the ability to just run over and grab you. Something like that, maybe.
It's like a time machine. Like anyone who can put
Yeah.
it together will put you into the future.
Yeah, we could do that. And maybe once you pick it up, maybe you need to find these other pieces to restore balance and time and get yourself back to the original time. Maybe upon grabbing that artifact, everything is thrown in this weird steampunk future, and then you have to go throughout this weird new steampunk future island and get these new pieces and reassemble the artifact. Maybe each time you assemble the artifact, it maybe either goes back in time or changes.
A section of it goes back to normal.
Yeah, something like that. We could do that, and then maybe once everything's all back to normal, you have the artifact. this amazing time-changing artifact, then you're allowed to basically get off. And then you can take that plane that you've built and fly yourself home. Something like that. What do you guys think?
I like that.
Okay. Cool. I think we should call it here. I know we got a lot to do. We're all really busy this week. Wednesday, though, I need one of you two or both of you guys to come with me to the University of Y Center at this time.
Okay.
Not like this time starting now, but this time is in when we would normally have our meeting. No meeting next week for anybody. Sorry, guys. You guys are not watching home or just like loving it. Sorry. But yeah, so I need one of you two or both. I mean, are you guys gonna be here on Wednesday?
I can
At the
go.
normal game developer time?
Yeah.
Okay, let's just meet here then. Then we'll go together. I'll go together. Let's try to meet here at.
Does it start at the same time or?
I think it starts. Pretty sure it starts at 12:30.
Okay.
Let's just plan on it starting at 12:30, and then, I mean, my class gets out at 12:25, 12:20, something like that. Yeah, so it gets out, and then I come straight here usually. But that's fine. So Wednesday, we'll get you guys and any officers watching this. You guys show up here Wednesday at sometime before 12:30, and we'll all go to the University Y Center, and we'll see you guys then. All right, and that'll be that. All right, guys, have a great week. Thanks for watching.